So, I got given I by Daniel, which is interesting. I could have gone for invincible, invisible, or indomitable, but I chose identity. A lot of us have negative identities about ourselves, even though that may not be true. And going back to the beginning, you're born, you have no choice over where you live, you have no choice over what you're called, you have no choice over what you wear or how your hair's cut, you have no choice where you go to school and how you're schooled. So, as a child, you have no identity. Your identity is put upon you. And because you're a child, and because you are vulnerable without this identity, other people can force it upon you. It's not just parents. Your abusers, your neighbours, your teachers, they all give you an identity. And the problem is, when you are damaged, your identity of yourself changes. You actually see yourself as spoilt goods, a dirty thing, vulnerable, there to be used, there to be damaged, and you believe you are damaged. And we're not fair to ourselves. Now, the thing is about hitting teenage years, 20s, 30s, you get the gift of actually creating and choosing your own identity. Sorry about stuttering, I'm terrible. So, we look at ourselves quite often, and we're angry, and we're negative, because some of the times there's nothing we could have done about what happened. We had no choice. We were little, we were vulnerable, we were scared. We weren't strong physically and mentally because we're children, we're young people. We can't help that. So as an adult, you look at yourself, and we've all been there, I've been there many, many times. You actually have this self-loathing because your self-identity is wrong. It's not fair to you. It's not right. And I've been there. I sit there. Last week, I was at the edge of everything. I'd given up, and my self-image was shocking. I looked at my identity. I didn't like it. And then someone spoke to me and forced me into words of wisdom, and they said something along the lines of, "You're a perfectionist." Now, I don't identify as a perfectionist, so I retorted, "Well, no, I'm not good enough to be a perfectionist." And this woman said, "That's what a perfectionist would say." So she caught me out. So I started looking at it more seriously, and I think about who I am, who I really am, and probably a lot of you are very, very similar to me. To get through what you've done, you've used incredible strength. You still keep doing it. You support people. You actually give to other people before you give to yourself. Now that's a good thing. That is a positive identity. And the more you look at it, and the more you look at yourself, and you look at yourself honestly and positively, you realise that a lot of the things that you think about your identity, which are negative and harmful and unpleasant, aren't actually true. You are actually a good person. You are a strong person. And the evidence is you've survived what other people couldn't, and that's sad for the ones that couldn't. But that just shows you that within your identity, you are more than a survivor. You're not a victim anymore. You know, and a victim's the wrong thing to be, because you survived something, you beat something horrible, and you came through it. That shows that in your identity, you are a strong person. You are brave beyond belief because you carry on with life. And sometimes you hide it, and other people look at you and think, wow, you know, that person's great, they're so positive, they're so strong, and everything they do, because of how we are, we tend to give an awful lot. We're trying to prove that we are better than we are. We're trying to prove that we're better than the people. And do you know what? We don't need to do that, because we are good people, we are strong. We probably are better than many people. But your identity is what you give yourself. And you have to be honest about that. And you have to look at yourself and even write it down. And you write your negative qualities down, and you actually find them. They're not actually to do with you. They're to do with things that have happened to you that weren't your choice. And then when you look at your other identity, your real identity, you think, hang on a minute, I've come through this. I'm maybe a good father or mother, great uncle, great auntie. I work hard, I give the most, I support people, I have empathy, I have kindness, I do things for other people. I help other people before myself, because that's what we all do. We put ourselves second, and that is part of identity, second place. And do you know what? We're not in second place. We're in first place. Our identity is people who have conquered or are conquering one of the worst things that can happen to people. It's horrible, but it's not your identity. Your identity is a side of that. Your identity is the person that overcame it. You're the person who beat them. You survived them, and you've got no guilt. They carry the guilt. Your identity is someone that was good, that was abused, that was harmed, when it wasn't your fault. So you have to adopt your new identity of positivity, because you're not a victim. You're a strong person, you're a brave person, and you keep giving. And that's your true identity. Keep it positive, keep it smiling, and you will get through it. Just be honest with yourself. That's all I ask. Just be absolutely honest with yourself. Have a great time, folks, and we're all here for each other. God bless you.